What's up guys, Bionic here with another video on Raid Shadow Legends. This one is going to be how I got Tormin the Cold. And more precisely, it's going to be basically how I managed to get him for as little as possible. And what I mean by that is the least amount that I could spend in terms of resources in order to get this champion. He's a void, so it definitely wasn't easy. I did have some of the champions prior to the event. I did also post a video with a leak about what was upcoming, and I think a picture surfaced like the day or two before where it basically showed the 4 epic champions you needed to get him. Now that didn't really change anything for me. It's not like I was able to get better prepared, but I did get a day or those 2 days head start where I was able to farm some of the potions that I was going to need to do the fusion. But before I get started, I just want to quickly go over the champion. Obviously, he's now been out for a while. A lot of other YouTubers already have him. There's already some builds out there. That's not what I'm trying to do. It was basically just to go back to the point where I said I released some information prior to the fusion, and it's basically what I had predicted, which is obviously a freeze aspect to the champion, but also a fire aspect or an HP burn aspect to him. So the combo to set him up obviously will require 2 different champions, but nonetheless, if you can set it up properly, it's definitely going to wreak havoc in the arena. And also on his A3, there is a provoke, as well as his passive, which will activate based on different things, which we already know that are going to be nerfed, which is why I'm going to be waiting a little bit until I fully build him. But I will definitely invest in this champion. I think he is very strong. Like I said, he will be very good in the arena, but also probably in some dungeons. Alright, so now for a picture of what my account looked like prior to the day of the event, I should say. I had 3,178 gems. I had a little bit of resources saved up in the mail. And aside from that, I did have some energy in my daily quests, double XP on my weekly quest. I was about to get the Void and Sacred Shard during the fusion time. I had all my shards saved up for one of the Summoning Rush event. So like I said, I mean, I was kind of well prepared. Here with the brews, you can see well over 100 for each. And as for the potions, I had started farming some of them, but I knew I was going to have to farm some of the voids. Okay, so that is something I did not have enough time to get prepared for. So the little bit that is there obviously isn't enough. So I knew I was going to have to plan accordingly, because we were only going to get 3 Sundays to get that done. I did also have some resources in the faction war, which is energy, and I think in the campaign on Nightmare, I had a 3-day XP ready to go. However, I ended up not even using that one. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at is basically which champions did I have prior to the event. So as you can see here, I had Towering Titan, so that is a big plus. That saves a lot of time leveling up those rare champions and, you know, doing the events to get them in the first place. As well as the other 2, Rowan and Exemplar, I almost have all the champions needed. And as for Basher, this guy I knew I was going to have to get through the Summon Rush. Okay, and after I figured out what I had, now was the time to try and figure out how I'm going to manage this series of events. Because let's face it, there's a lot of them. They're all on different days. You might be busy doing something else. It was the holidays, so you most likely had some events you had to attend. So for me, it was just about trying to figure out when I was going to have to spend a day or like multiple hours in a day playing. So by mapping it out, it made it that much easier. And then by eliminating which events I knew I did not have to complete, or that I did not need the champion to get the fusion done, it became a lot clearer. Okay, so all I was really missing was basically Eviscerator from the champion training tournament, Ifrit from the artifact enhancement event number 1, Marky as in the Spider tournament, sorry, and then the Basher, the Epic from the second Summon Rush. And now I'll quickly walk you guys through each day. So the first day, the 13th, was farming arcane potions. The 14th, same thing, farming arcane potions. The 15th was a Sunday, so I obviously was farming some void potions. That day, the first event finished, which was the first summon rush, and as you can see, I barely participated. Then on the 16th, started the artifact enhancement event and the spider tournament. So I had to spend for this one. Ended up spending exactly 9 refills for the spider tournament, and did not end up spending on the 17th or the 18th, but I did complete those 2 events, which, as you can see right here, for the artifact enhancement gave me plenty of resources, some much needed void potions, and the champion. And as you can see, for the spider tournament, also got the champion that I needed, but I decided to push to get that legendary skill tome, and also ensure that I stayed in the first place. So I guess you could argue that I did not necessarily need to spend those 9 refills, but nonetheless, I think it paid off. And then on the 19th, so that's the first day, I started hitting the campaign. The Dungeon Divers event was obviously still completing itself by doing so. And even though I did not need Retainer, I still completed the Arena Assault just by using the regular amount of tokens you get every day. And on that day started the Dragon Tournament, but since I did not need an Amaranthine Skeleton, I did not even touch it once. Then on the 20th started the Champion Training Tournament, which is convenient because the Champion Training event was also on, so that was a good time to start spending your refills to hit the both at the same time. So decided to spend on that day because I had to anyway. I had to get Eviscerator, and I ended up spending 6 energy refills, or gems on 6 energy refills, I should say. Then on the 21st, continued farming the campaign. Same thing on the 22nd. However, I also did the Void Dungeon because that was the second Sunday, so I had to spend some of my saved up energy and resources. I actually did not buy any refills that day, okay, just pointing that out. And then we had 2 events that we finished, which was the Dungeon Divers and the Champion Chase Tournament. And as you can see, completing the Dungeon Divers gave me all the possible rewards. Bulwark was not needed once again, but still decided, you know what, might as well try and complete it, which worked out perfectly by doing the 9 refills on the Spider Dungeon and then the 6 refills on the Champion Training Tournament. As for the Champion Chase Tournament, now remember I said I did not need this guy, Daywalker, I believe he's called, but I still ended up getting 1,495 points, and not because I used some of my Ancients, Void, or Sacred Shards, but literally because I waited on that day to start doing some of the fusions of the Epics, because yes, that does count toward getting new champions, which does count in the tournament. So that's a tip for you guys. Next time, make sure if you are going to fuse some of the champions, you wait until you have the tournament. So it doesn't count in a summon rush, but it does count in a tournament. So anyway, all this said, it did give me some gems as well as a double XP and 250 energy. Okay, and now on the 23rd, so that is when my group finished for the Champion Training Tournament. So there are only 3 days. I know I have it here highlighted as up until the 29th, but that depends on the group that you were in. So that is when mine finished, and here is what I got from it, which is basically all of the rewards up to the legendary skill tome, as well as finishing in 8th place and giving me an extra 30 gems. And finally, that brings us to the 24th. So that was the much awaited Summon Rush event that I wanted to use all my shards. So if you guys have watched my previous video, then you will know that I basically use all of my shards. I got some decent champions, or some very good champions actually, I should say. So what I started doing at that point, because I knew I got Basher, and if you've been paying attention, that means I've just gotten all the champions I need to do diffusion. So at that point, I'm pretty certain I'm gonna get Tormin the Cold, unless I screw up on the last Sunday and I don't get all my void potions, but that didn't happen. and decided I was going to start spending some gems on energy refills, but to level the new champions that I just got, not related to Tormin, okay? So I just want to point that out, which means that from the 24th on to the 25th and 26th, I was basically using a total of, I believe, was 5 on the 25th and then 9 on the 26th on those energy refills, all farming the campaign. By doing so, it allowed me to get a couple more rewards from the Mega Champion Training event, which lasted until that day. So if I would not have used those refills during those last 2 days, I would have probably finished somewhere at Interceptor or maybe a bit less. But like I said, it was well worth it for me to level the new champions I had just gotten, which was basically Skull Crusher and Steel Skull. And you guys have already seen this one. It was in a previous video, but basically I got all the rewards out of that Summon Rush event number 2. And here's the funny part, is that the whole point of getting Basher was that I was not going to be able to do a second artifact enhancement event, but Plarium gave us literally 10 million in silver, which means that I was able to actually get Painsmith. So I could have done the fusion of Basher instead of getting him through the event, but you know what, that doesn't really matter. I knew I was saving up my shards and I had to use them at one point. It turned out alright anyway, so now I just have some extra silver to keep going, but here is basically my rewards from the artifact enhancement number 2. And now back to the calendar for the final stretch, guys. Stick with me, it's almost done. So 26, 27, 28 was basically just all campaign farming. Up until the 29th, which was the last day, which was a Sunday. And that was my last day to get my Void Potions, which was easy to do with the rest of my saved up resources. I did not have to spend any more gems on energy refills on that day either. The final event unfinished on that day was the second Arena Assault, which, like the first one, was easy for me to complete with just the regular tokens you get every day, which did give me some more Void Potions, so that was perfect, as well as Haruspecs, which is basically now just in my vault. But anyway, all the rewards that I got from this also helped in getting the last bits of Void Potions. So I feel like I've said that word so many times in this video. I do apologize. That is what happens when you stitch everything together. But the whole point, guys, of this video was to give you guys a visual representation of what my thought process is when I tackle a fusion event like this, because I've heard a lot of you guys say basically I'm not gonna give Plarium another penny, it's too complicated, I'm not gonna do this event, and you guys are right in a way. And if I would not have had all the champions needed in the beginning, obviously it would have been a lot harder. But you see, by hoarding or by using the same strategy I've been using since the beginning, is just basically to hold on to my resources and use them at the right time, I was able to get Tormin the Cold for about 600 gems. So that is the entire amount of resources that I spent specifically for this guy. I did spend a little bit more during the duration of the fusion events, but it was not all for him, like I said before. So I hope that you guys can use this as an example that by a little bit of organization or planning for the long-term play, you are able to profit or to benefit from these events. The events themselves give so many resources that you do not necessarily need to spend that much. If I would not have had any of those the champions needed for the events and like no potions at all, you're right, I can probably see this costing me well upwards of 3,000 gems. Is Tormin worth that? I don't know. He's definitely very strong. He's gonna get nerfed, like I said in the beginning, but still, I feel like it was well worth the time investment and the resources for me. Not to mention all the other champions that it gave me at this, during the events, which is basically 2 Xavias, also Steel Skull, Skull Crusher, Rearguard Sergeant. So I mean, my account definitely got a big boost out of this. And if we look at a quick snapshot of my account now, as you just saw there real quick in playing in the background, is that I'm actually up by about 200 gems from when we started the series of events. So that's kind of crazy when you think about it, because I spent quite a lot during the events, but I actually even finished on top. Yeah, I do have a monthly reward in there, but overall this is all rewards from the events. And now fast forward to today, 4 days later. and you can see that my gem count is still going up. The events that they give us are very generous in some cases, especially this champion training event. Like, I mean, it's crazy the amount of resources you get for 3,600 points. I think it might be even a little less than that, or if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 3,600, and that's basically 150 points a day. Some of you guys might not agree, but again, like, look at all these gems here. That's about 100 gems right there. Look at all the energy we're going to get. Look at all these guaranteed shards you're going to get. So if you just save those resources and use them at the right time, then let this serve as another example that you can get these very hard to get champions for almost free. Literally free in my case, because I don't spend them. My account is 100% free to play. Anyway, so you might have also noticed I changed the name of my account to better reflect my YouTube channel. I will get back to that in another video. But now the last thing we're going to do today, because this video is now very long, I do apologize, is I'm going to announce the 5 winners of the last giveaway. Okay guys, so here we go with the lucky winners. This was totally random, so thank you for participating. Once again, I've had a lot of comments. I try to read them all, but it's not always easy. So number 1 is Vagos T. Second winner is this person right here. Probably gonna screw up your name, I'm sorry. Twachi. Anyway, congratulations. The third winner is Bishal. Congratulations, sir. And then we've got Michael. Congratulations to you as well. And last but not least, the 5th winner for the last contest is I'm a Snooze. Congratulations to you as well. Okay, that's it now, guys. Really need to finish this, so I hope you enjoyed this guide sort of walkthrough of how I completed the event. I know I could have just literally told you guys I paid 600 gems to get Tormin, but I felt like showing you exactly what I did would hopefully help you guys out in the future. So as always, please do not forget to check the description to see how you can support my channel. I will further explain why I say this in an upcoming video, but as always, thank you so much for coming. I hope you like, I hope you subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.